All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road and bring out your first team. Put your hands together for KRU Visa.
KRU, a team that started this stage 2 playing against Loud, then playing against 100 Thieves, and this week having 2 matches. They need to be ready for it. They have a big opponent in G2 that they have to beat today, and they need to go back to that mentality for Sadak and Les, all the way back when they were winning champs. They're bringing their psychologist back from that team and is now with them present. So now you're looking at the wins that they're getting, the support as well that they get, and what they're going to need when it comes to the maps, when it comes to the strings, when it comes to Dante being more comfortable. They have all the tools. Now is the time to implement them.
Yeah, of course, for this team, it's a great opportunity here to get this win today. But of course, their opponent on the other side, so familiar with high-stakes games, having won title after title on this very stage. You know KRU Visa has a lot on their hands as they have to deal with G2 Esports.
And this is a team that, listen, I've been very hard on them. This entire pre-show, I have just been ripping them to pieces, to be honest with you.
Deadass, I think you hate them, bro.
But the reality is, individually as players, they are phenomenal. They're fantastic. And we know what the ceiling of this team should be. They're still figuring it out. They are quite fortunate, I think, that they are playing against a KRU that is quite desperate, to be honest. They're pushed into a corner where things that KRU are trying to work out, it's not really working out for them. But G2, they should be looking at this as a nice test. I mean, Valen was giving a lot of respect to KRU, I think. Yeah. As you should. You should give respect to any team you're going up against.
At the end of the day, you're going up against 2, former world champions as well on the other side of that stage with KRU. Let's not forget that.
There's no game ever that is a guaranteed win. And it doesn't matter where you are, not in Tier 1 play whatsoever. It doesn't matter the quality that we see from them. High expectations for G2 overall. And as the map pool gets rolled out, we were talking about a map pool for KRU in terms of Lotus being this linchpin for them, the thing that was holding it together. It's not banned, it's G2 picking it.
It's actually so funny. They're like, you know what, we're going to switch it up. We're not going to go with Lotus. And G2 is like, no, you're not getting away with it. No, you're not gonna get away with it. You're gonna have to play the Lotus too. This is the map. This is the only team that has been able to beat KRU on it. So I think
that's true.
It's pretty good. I'm curious about the Breeza.
No, I think it makes quite a lot of sense, to be honest, as well. Their Lotus, ever since KRU have been just experimenting with this double duelist in terms of figuring out what the hell's going on when it got heat on Raze in some instances. It doesn't look as put together compared to when you see like a more standard Lotus composition, more default things being put together. The idea that, we were singing the praises of KRU as one of the best teams in the world early on in stage 1 from how they looked on Lotus, because they really figured out how to min-max, make the most out of Neon's movement at the time, set Dante up for success constantly. They haven't found any semblance of identity yet, and they're still struggling there. And to be honest, it's not going to get any easier for them, to be honest. Like, they're going up against G2, they're going to be pushing them back down in the water.
Yeah, and I see Breeze, and I also see Lotus, and I see 2 big maps where you have Leaf that kind of just walk around, find those picks where it's necessary. He doesn't necessarily need to be put in that position, right? Which kind of goes back to what Giacomo was talking about, with what their identity is going to be looking like. I think that those 2 maps really indicate, like, we want to do this double Senti play. This is our vibe.
It feels like that's going to be the key, because both teams have star players in Les, in Leaf, and then the biggest difference is going to be how those fights are going to get open. Is it going to be Heat? Is it going to be Dante as well? Is it going to be continuing to be this double duelist? And for the other side, Giacomo has been incredible when it comes to the opening. The stage, in one of the maps, getting 31, pretty much going flawless when it comes to the deaths that he's getting first as well. So it's going to be a good
double
one.
duelist again.
They're going back into Dante on the Neon with Heat, unless they're going to change it up for future maps. But they had it the other way around, where it was Heat playing his primary entry. You can play the Jet on a map like Breeze. You don't have to really lean into this, but they've gone for this direction. My big question, I think we're all going to be looking at Dante as a player and seeing how he's going to be doing on that primary entry. That's my big question for this one. G2, expected. They weren't lying to us in the interviews. This is what they did before. And we know it's always going to work for them.
Yeah, is it really good for the postmans, and on the other side for the attack, we know that Sadak is good when it comes down to IGLing a little bit slower, calling a little bit slower on this attack side, but it feels like what was missing when they were playing this map against Loud was a little bit more of mid control.
Yeah, and that control is going to be necessary if they want to pick up the win here, folks. It's now time to dive into map 1. Let's send it over to your casters who are making their first appearance this stage. 2 of my favorites. It's Rivington and Van Silly with a broken leg.
Thank you so much from the desk. We are just about ready to get into game. I think a cool fact coming in here for KRU is, they're trying to rebuild and make sure they have everybody in the right spot, but they've been doing that for the past 6 games against some of the hardest teams. G2, NRG, MIBR, Sen, Loud, 100 Thieves, and now we bring it back around to G2.
All the teams that are in discussions right now of doing a deep run in the Americas are also qualifying the champs, so it hasn't been an easy run for KRU for sure. But going to this one, it's going to be an interesting one as we get into the Samsung OLED match start. It is KRU going with a new composition as well, so the weight of the results kind of different for both of these teams that have to play basically a super week. They're playing 2 games this week, right? But for KRU, it's trying to get the reps in, so change it to comps today, see if it sticks, see if they can carry this over to play-ins, while for G2, they're trying to at least skip the play-ins to get into the playoffs right away.
So we do see the Phoenix now being flexed a little bit more by KRU. It was the Jet, the Rays a lot, just the Neon and the Jet, but now they are going to focus alt points for Heat Phoenix to get into this.
The interesting one is this as well, as we're pausing the round in terms of KRU looking for a late hit into the round and less as the insert on this B side, is that KRU picked this map into G2. So probably understanding here that G2 playing this solo Senti into Baby Bay, they could maybe abuse that right now with a double duelist, but it's a different look, right? It is a Neon and a Phoenix, as it is Sadak that opens it up though as a Harbor instead of an Astra this time around.
And they got to be a little more exact with what they do. Once that Harbor wall goes up, you have to use it. It's like your Brim Smokes are the only ones you got. Make sure they are the ones you're gaining an advantage on, and they have pushed up in the site. That's been one of the biggest things for Breeze, is taking a bit more space and not allowing the opponent right back in.
The look is good. This is a very slow rotate from the 2 players of G2 because they always have to worry about less. Just his presence as his agent is always dangerous.
Oh, Heat trying to face right away. Still playing cat and mouse in the middle of the pillars right now as Jogamo gets the first answer for G2 to start off that in the round. And it's going to be KRU answering back very fast from all fronts. They had the angles as soon as G2 got into the middle of the site. KRU popped out from their hiding spots to take the pistol round.
Yeah, so KRU playing the approach here for the pistol round. Getting the rounds very slow, trying to push and prod, trying to see what Les is able to find over on that B side, sees that it stays very quiet. And again, when it comes down to that motion of like, okay, well, there's nothing really activating around the map so far here for G2, we could still have the double dive and go in and play power of numbers. So you saw how disruptive it was towards the A side, how Baby Bay already had to TP out, they had to play the retake. And thankfully here for KRU, they had the right positioning to play the pulse plan as well. They have a very clean pistol and put G2 on a full stack now towards this B side. A great read to start for KRU. Just looking for the full executive to this B side, and they'll soon realize that it's open for that free plant.
It feels like the nice default feel too for the team that's winning. We'll try A and then we try B. Now we've done both sites and we can go wherever for bonus round, which is going to be a big one for KRU to pick up here as they just rinse this one out and see if they can get out safely.
And I think if I want to think about G2 for how they want to approach their defense against KRU with this new comp as well, or just in general against KRU today, is the fact that they have to be maybe a little bit proactive around the map. Because you can't have any agents right now outside of VALORANT that could play a couple of stalls here for like the site hits coming out from KRU, right? You don't have a Harbor that they were using in the past before to cut off the sites, to cut off and slow down the pushes. So you kind of have to be active and hoping that it's going to be Baby Bay getting some aggressive lines here, as they'll try to get the op to his hands ASAP.
So MWZera did get that Bulldog that is now in the hands of Valen, but 2 Phantoms that round to be able to bring into the bonus, figure out a way to stop G2 as they come through, only getting a kill on MWZera. KRU feeling pretty good here.
Yeah. Good news right now is that there's no big snowballing from the star duelists out from Dante or Heat on the side of KRU, where in the past too, if you're looking at other maps that are playing, most notably Lotus, that they're always very strong at, Heat is always very good at snowballing ult orbs going into the bonus round to bring up a showstopper right away. But now with the Phoenix, that's only 6 pips, but he's still halfway onto that one. They'll probably try to focus on getting maybe the Reckoning from Sadak to start. So the lean is towards his B side as well. You're seeing that G2 are also adjusting to protect Baby Bay a little bit more on these flood sites, but to play more on the extremities. A 3-2 setup. Weaker side on the B, but they could still shock dart, snake bite combo if they hear the tap of this orb.
Yeah, they're going for quick detection. Fast lane in. No confirmation just yet that this is a full committal. And there it is, G2! Clothesline the KRU members as they come in. Oh my God, didn't matter what utility was up. G2 still had the sight lines. And they're not even stressing about this one, knowing they can get themselves together on the map for any trade that comes through now. And this is the pace they like to set for themselves.
Last one spotted too, so Les maybe can do some damage, but he'll get none. A clean little hold by G2 towards the end. The scaling was so focused on trying to take down Trent. When the flash drone came up and saw him, everybody was scaling towards that ladder side, and it kind of just omitted Leaf right there towards Emo. Look at how free it was for him to get these 2 kills. Even the recon dart can't get him because it was shooting towards that back of the site to focus once again on taking down Trent. So that's what they have to worry about for KRU this time around too. When the rounds continue to move forward, is G2 going to continue to play more turtled up inside the sites to support here what should have been weaker side anchors for G2? Because if you think about it, when they played against C9, it was a lot of like 4-1 setups or BBB alone on B, something like that as well. You're seeing here they're still setting up the trips in various positions here on the defensive side for G2. We've seen this already as well, trying to find some passive info so that they can focus on the turtle up into the sites.
The early alt points you were talking about coming into play now, as this is another round where G2 is kind of sitting in wait just on the outside of the util, but it doesn't pay off this time. KRU is very aware. Okay, Baby Bay gets one there through the high tide, and now they kind of reset. Wait for the rest of the team to get over here. No, Baby Bay still getting a little antsy as MW0 looks for the repush on mid. And a beautiful find there as they start to even up the numbers.
Even Reckoning too. Even if it doesn't get any info on noise, it still sections out the site. So nice little utilization of the ults and also the positioning for KRU to secure the round. Was it needed though? Because it was a 4-on-2 with especially MW0 winning that fight against Trent. Hell yeah, it is, because KRU, they need to build that confidence up moving forward here into these games, moving into playoffs as well. So making sure here that they can have a strong start as well on Breeze, and to show here to the KRU fans that they have a deeper map pool than just Lotus is super important.
That does seem to be one of the questions. And what comps will they bring out, right? Sadako is wanting to throw something in the loop. This one a little bit different as well, and they do seem to have an advantage. I think one thing they can realize now is that G2 has always been there on the other side of the util, trying to stay in and anchor site. So they were very ready for that fight in A this time.
And because they have the double duelist as well of having a Phoenix instead of doing the Neon and the Jet.
Yeah.
So actually, if you think about KRU going into the stage, they were basically the only team that wasn't focusing on a Phoenix as a secondary duelist outside of Ascent. There was only maybe Furia when it comes down to Split that they played the dive of like a Jet Raze with a Sky Flash. But outside of that, KRU never really had any Phoenix Flashes to enable somebody like Dante to move in. So maybe that's also the reason now that Heat is playing into this Phoenix, so could help out into Dante scaling to the site. They could double dive and overtake these sites together. So far, so good.
Rinse and repeat onto A. Ooh. Cleaned up by Valen. Very smart play there, as they are still staying in sight just a little bit further back so they can't get retaliated on right away. The plant is for KRU, and they're not able to push up as much last time, what gave them the advantage in this situation. Sadok's going to try to take that position right now.
Hey, this is good info as well. So now you have the Cove up, you have the drone spotting some players. They're going to be able to run that clock down here for KRU.
This is the play. Sadok's going to have a huge hand in this, and Valen takes him right down. A second one in the site as they stand tall on the side of G2. And just 2 members left as Heat falls there. MW0 looks for a peek, and Trent gives him the what for. Another one coming in for G2 on the retake.
And another thing that's a winning condition for G2 is how good they were on the retakes against Cloud9, right? As we talked about the 4-1 setups for Baby Base solo on sites, it's easy for them to play soft side, communicate, and then run in as a team to retake sites, which is nice. But I love how they played the beginning of that round, though. They gave that space for KRU to really run into that A site. They clothesline Dante as he's sliding through. Why? Because they're not playing a Viper, so they don't have that default wall that's splitting the middle of that A site.
Right.
They use that high tide to do the wide curve and hoping that the rest of the util around the flashes could really blind the players within the A site for G2.
Yep. But G2's wall is just for when they need to retake.
Exactly.
So it's always their vision.
Yeah, that's the nature currently of this Viper wall that's being placed. This is nothing new here for the side of G2. They're trying to prevent here KRU of playing that post-plant angle watch here from the main entrance of the A halls from Bricks. And that allows G2 to scale back as a group.
This becomes scary because the slower the game gets and KRU tries to find the map, I feel like you just get right into Baby Bay's wheelhouse of him being able to op corners, Jogamo holding the other side with a Phantom. But yeah, a lot of the times when the game needs to slow down, G2 looks to Baby Bay for that first shot, and it just becomes that much easier now.
And it's like semi-aggressive what he's doing there, right? The way that he's peeking into the window, it's not a forward position that he walks to surprise you into the elbow, but it's more like, oh, I'm going to play an off angle. because players are going to wide swing into the window. They're going to very much going to check towards that left side of the site before, so BBB has a chance to get that first opener. And that second checkbox for G2 is to make sure that they still keep somebody across the site to figure out where Les is lurking around to engage in that 1v1. So as they are able to identify that double swing onto that B side, then you just start exploring for that 1v1 duel against Les, and Jogimo was able to capitalize on that.
All right, 3 members of KRU here making their way over. Looks like this one should end out 3-3, but already KRU showing that they have an identity with this comp that they really want to push forward to, getting some rounds off of G2. They'll try their hand at A site for this round 6. Already found out and sonar'd away.
He was so patient in that spot at elbow. I thought he DC'd or something. We're going to go into a tech pause, but in the end, it's NW0 trying to clutch it, but he is dropped by Jogimo, and indeed, they'll get that tied score line for G2.
Get ready. I go fast.
It's not going to look too great, though, for KRU, as you see the buy is not going to be the strongest, and this is what I'm talking about, right? They're trying to swing out. You see the Sova looking towards that left side of the pillar. So just at the end of the day, BBB still able to isolate that single fight.
I think it needs to be the new look now. KRU's calling a timeout. What we've seen BA is pretty default, right? They are just using the harbor wall to get in, duelist rush right side. We haven't seen any of the mid pressure, anybody kind of screaming through double doors to make that a little bit harder as they split the site from 2 sides. So there's still a lot of options on the table for KRU here as they hit the timeout. And we're only at 3-3. So it looks like they're just trying to get in the head of the players so they're in the right direction as we move forward.
Yeah, right now it's seems to be a little bit difficult as well for them to really go for split sites because of potentially just playing with this harbor. You can't have a conditioning wall by this Viper as well, but it seems as though they haven't really been focusing too much on taking that mid control at the start here where you know, teams would like to do this 1-3-1 or split sites hits. They're just expecting here that the double dive right into the front doors are going to be able to bust through those doors and get the plant down.
I mean, hey, it's effective.
for a bit.
Pretty hard to stop until G2 just backpedals a few more steps and lets you use all the util on the way in before they retaliate. The operator's still there for Baby Bay. He switches over to mid this time. And it looks like we will get that strong hit towards B. Everyone from KRU there here to start the round.
And it should be some easy stalls too. Leaf is just playing on the top here. Sorry, I just heard a paper wreck somewhere. Leaf is on the boxes here looking towards the front of this B site. And yeah, I feel that they're already expecting this. He's not trying to stall towards that front, but not allow for them to take control of the left side, able to escape at least. And now already G2 grouped up with him.
Heat trying to get a quick heal in from the flame wall. A lot of G2 is cornered in this backside. Beautiful detection by the utility, but the trades are going on both sides, hot and heavy. G2's Jogimo is able to come up with a hat trick right away on the fight. Les, say no more. Jogimo goes down, and now it is a 1v2 as Les tries to reset a moment, get his ultimate online, and figure out where his opponents are coming from.
And it's not the best because he ults, so they know that he's playing towards that back of the site. There was actually a scope here from Baby Bay to watch towards that side, but thankfully the ult's good enough for him to realize that it's a safe spot for him to move up to go for a plant, and now to try to play the tucked-in corner and put these question marks, settle it in to have these 2 players come back from G2.
5-second camera, but it's going to be too late now. Only in the Cosmic Divide does it give him the 1v1. I think they're trying to peek together now as they go from one side to the other. Oh, wait, it's going to be a 1-1, but Valen still comes up, pushing straight forward. No hesitation, knowing he was just going to be a bit behind Baby Bay to get that clutch and get that 4th round.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional as well for Baby Bay to go so early into the fight against Les, because somebody like Les on a 1 versus 2, usually you want to try to call it a 3-2-1 to go. But you could always count as well on Valen, the IGL. That has been good in these clutch scenarios for G2. It almost felt as well that Les was running out of bullets too, and Valen's able to escape here with the round for G2.
Kind of snuff out that timeout momentum too that KRU had, so that feels good to carry it. Jog on the Neon is starting to pull away here, so you know he's starting to get into that mode. And now we'll see a bit of that map split where they start to go mid from KRU and divide the members of G2.
Right now, though, they could just realize here, since the trip is still up, that they might split into the A side for KRU, so G2 still ready.
Separated, trying to find the A main players. One goes down as he using that run it back effectively. Jogimo is playing 2 fronts of game here. He doesn't know which way to peek, actually denies that backwards vision as he tries to play the front. I like the effort there, but they're still able to clean it up. They have an answer for everything, even when they're being pressured everywhere by KRU. They clean up less, and now they just have to get back for heat here.
Oh my gosh.
And Jogamo's just got his dancing shoes on. He's not even part of the fight.
So when I just talked about protocols and out 1v2 against less, those comms must have to be the cleanest for G2 right there to refight towards that A main, especially when they already lost one of those players back at Bricks. Jogamo's left on an island, and he's still having that the conversation with the rotation from Leaf just to try to isolate these fights. And as the pressure, as the pressure against Jogamo, it still gives a chance for more backstabs from middles on the rotate to happen. So great here on G2 to just keep telling KRU, hey, look at me, and just keeps executing from behind. Now taking a lead by 2 and putting KRU in a tough position, going back into, since the timeout, they're noticing a lot more splits coming out from the KRU side.
But that's the dog we talk about, right? Anybody with no bullets would not peek. What does Jogamo do? Throws himself even further in front of it. Little Sova action from both sides as Trent gets the assist and help to kill down onto Sadak there. So the high tide already goes out. This has to be used by KRU right now because they're not going to have much cover otherwise.
Also giving the spike over to Les so that MW0 could run into A main ASAP and play his Hunter's Fury, trying to disrupt the retake on the side of G2, but so far only pinging Trent and also taking him down.
They're finding each other with the ults here. Hardly anybody seeing each other besides the two Hunter's Furies.
Still a pit for Leaf, though. They could probably try to utilize this right now if they could take down Dante right around this corner.
Oh, Stinger coming up big. Another dink, though. It's going to be some pretty good damage as they try to get this. Dante follow up again, and now they pinch down onto Valen. That was quite a few rounds for G2 in a row there, but KRU do grab one back to stop the bleeding.
And that's nice from Dante, too. Him being criticized as being uncomfortable in this Neon role as well. Well, it's difficult when you're trying to just wall up, try to get in, and hopefully get lucky when you slide out to try to get a couple of picks. But he's been denied a couple of these moments when he's trying to dive into these sites. But just playing a simple angle, rather. Nice little dink onto Baby Bay right over here as well, and just capitalizing on some nice little defense on the post plant. His goal was just trying to disrupt as much as he could, because the rest of the team was still trying to play sprays from the front of that A main. So to get 2 kills on top of that, that's huge here for KRU in terms of confidence.
Ooh, first time all across the map for KRU here. Now they're turning it into the 1-4.
Yeah, it's the pistol round that they started, right? So Les is putting that camera up, trying to observe for the detail. He's going to hear that drone coming in towards Cannon as well. So he knows that there's pressure up on this mid side.
Oh, God. It's rinse and repeat here. They spam into the spot. If they hear Valen, they know it's only a certain window he can be in. They get that trade damage through the smoke, and it's Phantom Gaming. You're not able to trade the tracers, so KRU is more than happy to keep firing through these walls. Jogamo in. He's got to do some wall work now as he tries to find one. Relay bolt stuns no one as he's just making more room for the rest of the team to come in. Baby Bay cannot get an op shot down to work for the squad. And it looks like they may be trying to get together, but Les is going to go ahead and put a wrench in the works.
Oh my God. He's moonwalking.
How does he know? Okay, there's 2 kills coming through. Damn, Jogamo just with the quick movement there almost throws KRU for a loop. But it looks like they will get this. Trent, the last one alive in. KRU picking up that pace, being behind each other on these activations is really coming through.
Ends up being a very nice round by KRU as well on the execution on the A site. Once again with the big reckoning, utilizing it to cut and section out that part of yellow and even adding the cove on the left side of yellow to not give a chance here really for G2 to scale back and retake that site. I like the idea of where they put that trip, though, because when it comes down to the full exit, when you're putting the walls up, nobody's going to really look at the ground. So it gives a chance here to slow down a little bit of your opponents, try to spray through that, but unfortunately none of the bullets hit. And that trip that I'm talking about was right over here, right where Baby Bay is currently standing. But no util to help out this time, though. This util from G2 spots a lot of players from KRU getting ready to hit towards this B side, preemptively starting off the concuss. Here comes KRU entering it towards this B site.
Straight in. G2's trying to rotate heavily, already pushed out A here to scramble to A site. Dante and the rest of the team aren't able to find too many kills. That's going to be big for G2, but Leaf falls. And now the kills start to come through as KRU inches forward to grab a little bit more. Here's that rotation we were talking about, and it actually causes quite a problem.
Yeah, we had the neural snap though. That's full information of what's going on so far. What are you doing? Overheated.
Vans, not like this, right? Because now they have to figure out where Valen's coming from to give Jog some more time to start moving up elbow, and that never should happen. Just a tap. Just a tap. But Valen's going to turn away, play his life a little bit longer, and that is a huge frag from Dante. Jogamo could have been the kingpin here to really seal the deal.
Yeah. Especially when Dante was low HP as well. But again, it's thanks to Les pushing all the way back towards that spawn, getting the Neurotheft out. They knew where the rotations are coming from as well. It just came down to the duels where you saw the bandit here from Valen, the G2 I think likes to call it the booty bandit, and wins that duel in the 1v1 on the elbow side. But at the end of the day, it's still a nice little save by Dante and the rest of the crew. They take the lead now 6-5 going into this one as well. But it hasn't been as dominant here for G2 as it has been versus Cloud9. When it comes down to what I mentioned before, G2 being good on the retakes against C9, crew are doing an excellent job contesting their own high tides. They get slowed through their own high tide, but finding openings and surprising G2, rotating back in different positions on that previous round. So G2 thought that they had Safe Haven to escape. And now hopefully Safe Haven as they stall the front of the B site with Leaf's ult.
Playing off last round's push out of A too. Send 4 towards B. This time we're going to see if you try to run somebody out of A main. Les is hanging out, but they find no one. G2's very comfortable playing the safer this round.
Thing is, right now, you see this trip is being placed towards his mid-double doors, so they don't really have too much to be able to watch this whole zone. This is a huge question mark, a fog of war right now for G2, which is why you have to watch so passively in these angles. This gives a chance right now for crew to really scale up and go for a fast hit towards this A site.
All right, one of the second or third times they've tried the door entry now. What? Oh my God, baby bay. That was insane. The kills are going to keep coming, though, as crew is trying to follow up, knowing that can't just be the way the site stops here. A little bit of blind, a little bit of seeing each other again, as Heat's the first one to be able to rub that out of his eyes. And now they get the plant down. 2v3 as G2 tries to come in with the answer. Okie dokie.
The knife.
Get him. Get him. Oh. I respect it.
Didn't want to bring a knife to a gunfight.
In these situations, honestly, clutched one in a 2v1 just from the middle of the pillars there last week. Gonna try it from the right side of the pillars now as he sees the first one. The jig is up, eats the flash. Actually, pretty good turn, but they're still able to swarm him. 7-5. Crew take the lead in the first half.
And it's cool here, the setup from G2 with that trip, that it's just nullified by one wall from the neon that just allowed for them to scale through. And yeah, it's a nice shot there onto Dante, but everybody else scales behind quite well for crew. And I think that's the nature of it too. Instead of having so much deep dive into it, they stay as a pack, and they're able to overtake the rounds here and get a nice little lead against G2 in its first half.
We'll see what happens on the second half of Breeze right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too? No, I'm...
With amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch-side access.
Are you? David Beckham.
A Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
For G2, I know the past has been, it's the past. You know, the last couple weeks, months, hasn't been our greatest showing. But I think that we finally cracked the code and we know what to do for each other. I think having Jogamo back on Duelist, having our boy Andre opping a lot, and I can play all the controllers. Leaf on his comfort. I mean, everyone's in their domain, what they're known for. And I'm really optimistic and I have a lot of confidence and motivation that we have what it takes to go all the way to champs and win it all. And people are gonna call me crazy. They're gonna say, you always say this, they always do that. But really, right now, I think this whole year has been a lot of experimenting in different comps and all this, blah. I think right now we settled greatly. And if you're a G2 fan, I'm excited for you guys because I think we're gonna put on much better gameplay.
Let's get the second half underway. KRU leading 7-5 here against G2 on their pick of Breeze. So they are feeling good, but we'll have to see if they can now defend just as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could definitely walk away pretty proud with the first half for KRU. It didn't really look like they were committing too many mistakes. It really came down to some good gunfights between both teams to keep this game very, very close. I think there was only that scaling on their bonus round when it went into the B side that got denied here by Leaf. But overall, though, now moving into the second half, we haven't had a chance to see too much of G2 with this composition on the attack side, right? Remember, they played like one round on the attack, and that was it. So G2, challenge here towards the elbow, but it's Heat getting the opener. Leaving just less on A here, so they can kind of formulate this pile of 3, do a bit of damage, protect each other, rotate together. At least keep that power flowing together here. And it's going to be walking right up elbow, so they're going to follow that first fight and see if they can't catch anybody off guard. Right now, the reposition from KRU is pretty good, though. Look at how tucked back Dante is, too. He's going to try to peek for info. Well, at least he'll get them ready here towards this B side as you still have the MW0 playing this half wall. Oh, tagged. BabyBay still wants to move in. That's great follow-up damage from MW0, but again, G2 ready to pop out on the other side and take down KRU. This only leaves Sadak and Les now to hobble over here from the wall side, see what they can do together. Almost a catch from Sadak. It looks like G2 is still going to have the good backing for each other. I say that now, and they're going to kind of give a double look to what G2 is defending now. And there's a shot from Trent. What a bounce shot, actually. Playing Yahoo Pool over here. Trick shot. Going old school Silva voice lines there. But yeah, you see the value of now the Harbor coming out from Sadak as well. Very similar look to how G2 kind of played when they first tried out and experimented the Harbor over on this map. Is just to sanction out the top of the tunnels into the front of that B site, allowing here the half wall to just focus on the players walking through the wall. But thankfully, G2 had still too many numbers as KRU kind of like spread out after the first opener that they had onto the elbow side. So G2 had multiple 2v1 scenarios from the plant into the post plant. That's a great point. They were definitely, it was like mid reset of the strategy. Yep. And they get hit. So it's a good call as well from Valen to just slow things down for a bit, cut noise and re-hit, and it threw KRU for a loop. We're now gambling here a hit towards this front towards at the A site. So it's a triple high-low there. But once again, just like KRU, G2 are walking into this B site, and they know where Les is at. Oh, just bzzz for Les. Yeah, ain't playing that game. Can't get out of that. Oh, a little bit of a pistol fight down towards spawn. A lot of action where we're buying guns right now, gentlemen. As BabyBay holds them off from getting back into the site. It should be another round here as G2 kind of, in these rounds, seeing as much as they can get for free, really. Yeah. Walking it in. How intense is KRU going to be about their defense? And we'll really find out onto that next round. Nice job by Sadak to clean that up with the classic. And a quick shot for a 3K for Jogamo. 4 away from the ult for him, another round, and 7-7 on the score line here. Yeah, that's why I liked the beginning here of the post plan for KRU when, you know, you realize that you lost a fight against BabyBay with the Outlaw. Heat is rotating back up towards middle. They're walking back towards the tunnel to try to die to Spike. At least what I thought was going to be in my eyes, until Sadak actually wins that pistol round. They still want to commit to go in and do some more damage, but instead are giving a lot of ult orbs over to Jogamo. There you go.
Let's go, baby. Put it
up. Not here. BabyBay with the Outlaw. Tour de force. You'll have now Jogamo with the overdrive. A little bit of recon pressure now into the A main potentially. A gift. Trent's just going to hold that back. BabyBay there trying to pump up Jogamo. I mean, him and Heat are near dead even in scoreline right now. So yeah, Jogamo has to get going. Les is going to start this one off by taking down BabyBay, so the slow play won't even help G2 on this one to get that first pick. And the trip is down, so this double push is huge right now that could punish Valen. Valen could get caught off guard. It's already getting pinged out. He's going to back up. He senses it just for a moment to get back with the team. Yeah, they're going to wait for Valen. But they already know. All the smokes from being ready to. Because of this double push, you kind of know these guys are going to hit towards the A site. G2's going to finish here. So now you have a concuss available for Sadak to stall even more once G2's going to go in for the hit. They're walking in. And this is the test, though, right? This should be a KRU round now that they have this knowledge.
G2 is always good at getting themselves through the defense, though. As one starts off, High Tide's going to give him a bit, and Fallon still is able to get one as he faces two. More shots come through. Trent is able to trade another one, and now it's down to a 2v2 with Les limping around. Here. Looking. Oh, what a snapshot from Les. It's exactly what he needed. It couldn't have gone any other way, and yeah, we figured that would happen, but it's up to MW's Aaron Trent now. The spike on MW's mind, but the shot on Trent meaning so much more. He's trying to displace again with the shock, and he's so good at it. He does it again. Trent wins the round for G2.
Trent is not missing right now in these fights. Stepping up huge in the clutch for G2. But the walk-in was beautiful there by the attack side. Like I said, they went for the double push from KRU on the other end. They knew the hit from G2 was going into the site, but instead of spamming util, they walked in for the contact, and they got a dirty kill right onto yellow that just opened up the site towards A, didn't give a chance for KRU to get set up. And then it puts them in a lead now in the second half. As now it's 3 unanswered rounds coming in for G2, trying to pick up the tempo a little bit here after the pressure. They'll do the same recon, and then they'll try to take control of this. Let's see how it's going to work out as they're going to talk through this round.
Close. On the left. 1 HP, 1 HP.
On to rotate, guys. Just cancel. Cancel. Okay, cancel. We should just full fucking pivot. I'm gonna stay mid, okay?
boys.
Good, bro. Try
for mid foot.
I'll stay. I'll stay. No.
Okay, I heard you.
I stay mid. There's at least 3 there, okay?
Yep. They have Phoenix ult. They're gonna get Phoenix the gun.
Obscuring vision.
He's on drill.
Yeah, we should just try to fucking go B fast.
Just clear everything. You're looking for Cypher, maybe down. Maybe he could be down and shit.
Yeah, could be.
We should run before they rotate, maybe. It's okay if we make noise.
You're thinking
I'll clear
okay.
I think, yeah.
I'm going window. I'm gonna clear under window.
Nothing here.
He probably plays
Could be elbow.
I'll clear elbow, I'll clear it.
Trent will clear under, and then we're good. Not under. I can dart for close.
Damn, I broke it.
Not
Just
ready,
one
boys?
worker. This is good.
Yeah.
3,
Wow,
2,
he's nasty.
1.
Nice.
Fire retake.
Max space, max space.
He's gonna get the gun. Yep.
He's gonna jump on mid.
We didn't clear backside. It's fine.
I volt. I'm gonna go main, guys. You guys redeem.
Left.
2 mid. Neon and
Wait,
somebody
can you
else.
bait for me?
Yep. Close right there, yep. One more, Vic.
One more.
Harbor.
Back it up now. 2. Harbor
2
Phoenix.
mid.
Wait, Trent can kill 2.
Close right.
Right. Ult is right.
One enemy remaining.
Chill, no cove. Could be walked outside. Trent's going back to be main, okay?
Flank.
Elbow.
Trent! Let's go, Trent!
Baby!
Come on!
Take over. Shit,
Insane stuff coming out from G2 as well. The reads were perfect. Once they realized here that they lost control towards main, that the ult was available, who was going to pick up the guns right after, and how they wanted to pivot. Just some great calls here by Valen. And the adaptation right after when it comes down to playing the 2 versus X's. Just from the elbow and the bait onto the tunnel was just nice by both Baby Bay and Valen to kick things off and putting Trent into another nice little triple kill.
What the? Oh my God! Come on!
A lot of times, he's the last one on the round right now, getting the frags he needs and easily displacing his opponents. Great rounds from Trent to help the team get 4 now in the second half. And KRU is going to go straight for a timeout here because they cannot find an answer to it.
And it's great to see how you have players like Trent popping off in these highlight reels, these big moments as well. Jogmo finding his footing going into the duelist role. Baby Bay getting his crucial kills when needed be. And it goes back to what G2 has been prefacing for the last couple of weeks, talking to a lot of interviewers across the platforms that we have on socials here around Valorant, just on we're going to define our own meta. We don't have to force out to play the double duelist. We're not like the Sato and Spike. We're not like the Rossi or Dombi, you know. We're just going to have the way to play to our strength, because Energy, for example, has very similar looks right now. They're going back to the double initiators on Summit, and it's working out.
And you can never count G2 out either in that sense. So you're like, oh, they're changing comp. It's like, okay, they did like Jogamo was on KO and Baby Bay was on Neon last time, but it didn't matter because they've switched it and they feel comfortable. It's scary stuff.
To their strength.
Yeah, to their strength, they can always find it somehow.
And by playing your own style and your own meta, you kind of identify where your gaps are as well, so you are able to practice around that as well. It's not going to be the cleanest of wins as you see from time to time, but it allows those hero moments to pop out for G2 as well.
Oh my God. There's company, and they were not invited. G2 is already back where KRU buys guns. Hello. That was kind of a nasty shot from MW Zera. He goes down, though, for his troubles.
If anything, the insert from VALORANT is still quite huge at the mid double doors. Right now, he's trying to listen for some noise. So that's why the other two are just stalling back towards this spawn. And while, I mean, this becomes a guessing game from both sides, it could really turn into anybody's favor this time around. I think that right now the sights are set onto Heat and see what he's going to be able to discover towards middle.
It's how many times you actually get a map where you know nothing is going, right? You've lost control of behind you, in front of you, to the side. Every angle is danger, and it is scary. G2 is just able to do that to KRU here in the 17th round and leave them wondering. A Planet A is going to finalize this one. I don't even know if I mean, they have the money. I don't know if anybody's going to go searching for this.
It would be nice, but maybe they'll wait a few seconds before just to make sure that you can anchor out the spike going down, or the spike detonating, rather. At the end of the day, though, this was a timeout coming out from KRU and unsuccessful going into the rifle round for the defense. It's just a nice little smoke bubble popped up. Another one of those contact plays coming out from G2 and catching an opponent off guard. So just sneaky how they're moving around this map for G2. It's quite surprising here that there's gaps actually left behind from KRU, and I think that's also the nature of them maybe having that lack of practice, trying something new in terms of composition this time around too, onto Breeze. As, you know, when they lost their 0-13 scoreline to 100 Thieves, they're like, well, everything works out well for scrims, but when it comes down to playing the game, it's not the same thing. There's some gaps that they weren't able to play and mimic what they were able to practice in the server. And this time around, well, those gaps were punished once again by this kill from Jogamo onto Sadak.
One enemy remaining.
And they're ready for it. Just figuring what would be the danger zones. Some ultimates here. If they do need to push through this next buy and go for the throw to KRU, they're going to have to get by the operator. So once they get the fast lane up, maybe Jogamo can really start to disrupt with some overdrive. 5 rounds in a row here in the second half.
Yeah, it'll just be a simple pop right now for G2. I mean, the trips are not broken, so that might give him a chance a little bit to get a couple of sprays in the back of that site. Off shot misses, though, unfortunately, and a chance for G2 to really move into B now.
Well, the second peek, too. Now they know he's going to stay to that right side. Scott Dante finds the third, though. This is going to be big. G2 lights up the kill feed just to thwart the fact that they got the kill.
Still had a lurk here from Leaf, who was trying to punish Sadak on the rotate. Sadak hears a door, but the only thing he could really do right now is save his weapon. Maybe try to find that punish onto Leaf. But this will be another round converted for G2. As much as you were sounding alarms and just letting KRU know that you're coming in to the site, you knocked, and KRU just left the door wide open for them to enter. Yeah, there was some trips around that site, but there's not really any ways here for Les to play in the back of that side towards Castle, because he can't really wallbang when there's such good util from G2 spamming towards that back of the site, from a recon dart, from relay bolts. They got to find new ways here to play probably the spam positions if they want to get value on this Cypher anchor on the B site.
You can kind of see road to victory for G2. If they get Leaf's ultimate in 1 point, they can really take over a site with the speed they've just been stepping in. I mean, you put a Viper ult down there, this situation would be even more impossible. So, yeah, it seems like they're just able to get themselves in the front door, and KRU is in the back pedal fight every time here, not really getting the trades that they want.
Yeah. And a reminder again that for G2, this is an important game for this week. They are going to have to play Sentinels after, where they're currently behind them in terms of the rankings. Currently 1-1 in the Omega group, while Sentinels and 100 Thieves are at 2-0. So they really want to get into the right footing by getting a crucial 2-0 against KRU to try to skip those play-ins. And now they're not skipping at least control of the map for KRU or being picked up. They still have good ults to work with to try to stall. This is just some standard stuff, right? The camera's looking towards that B main. They have a late drone looking down towards middle. That's not going to get too much information. So that fog up war is still there, up for the mid control for G2 to take if they want to.
Just eyes across the map. And actually seeing if KRU will go hard on this round. They're giving KRU that space and kind of respect to say there might be something a little funky happening here. We'll pull out our default and see if it does anything. And then for 30 seconds, you're going to get an outrageous hit here from G2. Step in. There's one from Jogamo. Even in the face of two, they're able to trade Dante out immediately. Do they stay in sight, though? KRU is going to try to anchor here, and it's just a walk-in. Never mind it being hard. G2's just going to slowly squeeze this one out. There's a trade again from both sides as Valen and Leaf actually pull it back into their favor, and it's always one person rotating over. Last still wondering if it's the other site. They plant in the pit just to be sure.
It's just cool. Some standard protocols for G2. Play for aiming control, keep one inserted. Even when they open the door, to let KRU know that they've committed now towards mid control, they also threw another smoke on the top of middle to make them think maybe we're flooding through our own little smokes, the Viper Orb to fight on the top of that B site, to split towards B. It forced KRU to walk out. They punished them right away, and now they put themselves at map point.
Match point.
Just exact knowledge of what they want to do on the attack side. And even when they're presented with a defensive protocol from KRU, their protocol, a G2's that is still able to aggress a little bit harder and save each other on the trades. Really being able to answer each other and just get that cooperation in the moment. Now, every round for G2 are in the second half, and they're looking at game point.
Fully in control, too, of this map, especially on the attack side. We mentioned here, not too many chances have we seen G2 play the attack side, but they are basically moving KRU around to their own playstyle. Basically puppets.
Yeah.
Move into my crosshair, I take you down.
Pulling the strings here and there. Baby looks for a pick mid to understand that KRU is actually just kind of on that solo Neon mission right now, so the sites are probably being held more so. And they're going to set up for that now.
Still fairly passive here for KRU. Camera's watching very passively towards the tunnel as well, so now with the smoke on the top, as you can see right now in the free float, there is a question mark right on the top of mid. What are we going to do here and how to react for KRU? So you already see them moving outside towards the A main, controlling the orb, getting the ult up for heat. And if that's going to be called out, they're going to have to start activating here for G2 to really get into the site.
Yeah, W's only for KRU from A to B right now. Oh, thought it might be a mid catch, and it's going to be Baby Bay who's ready to stop that with the operator. Jogamo still wreaking havoc in the fight, in the site, and he's pulling util 2-3 members dancing around him, trying to figure out who they need to fight or where they might be able to find a fight. And Heat's going to be able to pick up Baby Bay in the mid.
This is huge, though. Run it back is up. He's trying to get the plant down, so he has to run it through. At least he'll get protected on the side by Valen.
Oh, beautiful little touch there by Valen, shooting once to draw the eyes. Also gets it on the site for ult as the run it back fades out.
Last player standing.
The trades are there for KRU. They hold it. They stay alive. I wonder if they're going to take a little bit more time there, but the teamwork pays off, and they just kept pushing forward into G2, knowing they were weak. Another round. That's big to stay in the game.
Still a super important kill by Heat through those mid-double doors. If it wasn't for him, especially with Sadak dying on the rotate here, Jogamo did an excellent job keeping 3 players on the defense on that B site. And look at that. From that running back, gets 3 kills in total for that round. Literally saved that for KRU to stay alive in this fight. It allowed that 4 versus 2 to happen for KRU on a retake. And the hero plays couldn't happen this time around for G2.
Heat is 23-13 in this matchup, but KRU has been silenced in the second half, it seems. Just doing everything under the radar or what? Crazy stuff. That was a defuse, and that's good to see from KRU that it wasn't just a frag round. They were able to break the defense and get in. They're probably going to need to do it a few more times.
And first half, it was 16 kills that he had for Heat, so still putting up some big numbers here on the defense. So yes, especially that triple kill that tallies up into how KRU is able to get these rounds so far, these 8 rounds on the board.
We've been waiting to see that for Dante. A few going wayward, and he finds it. But the second peek, he gets a little
bit too much there.
Yep.
That should have been a call maybe for a flash to peek or something. It at least will give you information and a chance to fall back and play your numbers. But now The map's open once again here for Baby Bay to lurk around and look for an opener.
It's crazy the space he's taking without really being seen from Nast or in different positions. This is huge. Oh, he gets found out. Is he going to get slid on? Goes for the flame wall. They're going to both try to get through, and he says exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much. I don't think anybody's going to want to try that. A little bit of help from Sadak here to reposition on the situation, but still stay very close for the fight. He loves to be right in it, as technical as it can be, and he gets challenged a little too much there. Trent and Valen come out big from A main.
And the lurk from Baby Bay, the rotate across, just got spotted by NW0.
Close, he gives him a shoulder, and it was just enough. Baby Bay finds the shot, rendezvous out.
Another one of those moments where G2 were just like, look at me, look at us, towards B main, or A main rather, and Baby Bay's able to move in and squeak through and put now G2 in a winning position. Hunter's Fury available now, so they could just run that clock down. Les has to move quickly.
Gotta tap it. Cage and tap. Can he take one shot? He's trying to do it. Actually gets the backstep. Oh my God, it angles from Baby Bay this time. The win from G2 on Breeze, Crew's pick. And we're gonna be heading to Lotus. It's interesting, a lot of the teams are fairly flashless overall when it comes to Lotus. You get your Paranoia in there always for Omen, but now they got the Vise and a Sky. The retake possibilities on that is crazy once they get to that situation. We'll see how everything is organized by Crew so they can deny those flashes from hitting and just give the util back. See if they can make this work.
Crew on the attack side, though, the look has been similar, at least in this pistol round, as the last time they played. Now going out with this double duelist and not having a Vice on their comp, they actually have less lurking a lot more on the C site than he does on A, so they leverage a little bit more control from Heat with a Sheriff to kick things off. You'll see this a lot in the rifle rounds too. And the inserts and the lurks on the A side are more going to be around Sadak, who's already walking up here close to the staircase. And he's down.
Just keeping it going from last map. Giacomo feeling on fire right now, and he's still going to step forward. He's good. Sorry, that was Heat stepping forward towards the smoke. And they just, I think that's an insert. They're going to go all the way back around to the other side now and make sure this spike stays safe.
Well, right now, too, it's almost like they have to break this door, and once they do, Baby Bay could just put the Razor Vines up. They call up the wall so he could hide behind that as well, and he's going to be in a good spot, right? So it's all up to Les with his lurks, with his timing, what he's trying to do here by baiting the walls, by opening doors, by forcing these over-rotates from G2 and figure out where they could finish.
The wall breaks, both doors open. G2 has to be like, wait, they're everywhere on the map. What can we get a peek on? And it plays out in Crew's favor. Starts that off very nice to start taking down G2 members. But where is the next one? It doesn't seem like the plan was fully engaged to keep going forward. That's going to be towards C where they end. And Leaf already stops a rotation over from Heat here. Valen will delay.
At least they'll get a plant down with 10 seconds left because the paint shells are going to be way too far to try to deny this. So it'll go down, less pushing forward, but still loses the fight over against Leaf.
His pistol.
Yeah, now two-player advantage for G2 for the retake. Look at all these flashes.
Paranoia through. The flashes you're talking about. Nice high ground by MW0. Wait a minute. They're stepping up now to stop G2 from even getting position on the site. Both still able to hold that back elbow. You can see Trent, Valen slowing it down to figure out what's the best way in. They're going to kind of separate on this angle. That is already going to work. The classic's good. Valen didn't even get a reload on there just to keep things quiet, so they had the upper hand. Oh my God, little parkour from Dante, but he goes down. Trent with that defuse. No, they're going to they're going to give it to Trent. Okay, just checking. Get the Seekers up quick, and G2, that is a very hard retake to keep looking at where the enemy might be coming from with so many flashes.
You have to thank Leaf a little bit as well to save that with that kill onto Leaf. With that first and the second one onto Les, it really gave a chance for G2 to come through because I feel like the first mistake came out from Baby Bay pushing out towards that front B site. Yes, all the doors and walls got broken, but if they were going to commit towards the C site, Valo is still there on the top. He could play soft site and escape. He could call those numbers for the team. So you don't really need to explore around the map when even break room door hasn't really been broken yet from the get-go. So a little bit of a misstep, but G2 still manages to salvage the pistol round to put Crew into an eco bandit in the hands of NW0 and as well as Heat. So they are the ones that are able to find a little bit of context for a last couple of fights from the first map onto the piss round into this one as well. But before picking up with Norb, I think they want to try to surprise here an opponent on the C site first.
Valen ready to paranoia through the follow-up. Just behind him on Baby Bay. They're ready for it. Nicely done. They're going to have to figure out how to get this wall down if they're really going to want these strats to work out from that Vice, because it has thrown Crew for a loop as Valen and the team play their life and wait for the rest of the resources to win this round.
Yeah, and I want to confirm as well that the tap of the spike is going to happen before the rest of the Crew could, or at least the rest of G2 could rotate over, sorry, to deny Crew. I was going to say NW0 should just pull back and pick up the orb on the C side instead, but at least they get the plant down to still get a pip and also money across the board for the team.
Torn apart. A lot of plants going down in the corner now, too. Nobody really wants to play the mound, especially when smokes are still up. You kind of get messed up, so it does require you to be in the site. If you're in the site, those flashes are going to be a lot easier to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely with the way that G2's currently playing so far, the double flashes, the reason why Trent's coming into this one as well is it helps into the flood retakes that they're trying to do. On the other end, though, for Crew, with the way that they're setting up here on their default.
Help! He's shooting me!
Okay. So the way that they set up for Crew here on their defaulting, especially here with less on the C side, with the lurk from Sadak on the A side, is whenever Crew wants to finish towards C, they kind of utilize as well the snake bite from less. They utilize way more util to overthrow the C side defense so they could really cleanly move into the site.
Holy moly. Because Jogamo got right up in the face of Crew there, and it looked like they had to peel back Trent so he could stay alive through the door.
Tried to go for that flash satchel right into the front and try to take one down. At least he did some damage. You know, Heat's low, NW0 is low as well. There's still a chance here for Baby Bay to do his own damage should Crew decide once again to finish towards the C side. So remember, the util available. Les still has his snake bite. Heat has his pain shells. Look at how much you're going to utilize here once they start executing towards the C site.
All this Vice util, as you were saying, is going to delay. They hold. G2 playing anchor to the rest of the sites on the map now as they start to back up while still just dwindling the numbers of Crew here. Yeah, yeah. There we go. There's another one.
Well,
and this is the gun round, by the way, for Crew, the bonus for G2.
Smokes are gone. Pain shells are gone. Now it comes down to hero plays. Les needs to find another timing here. With 30 seconds left on the clock, really has to start activating.
30 seconds left.
Slide into the sites only really considered if there's a follow-up, so they're going to know this is slightly fake. Yeah, nobody commits. They're just sitting in waterfall. Maybe a flash, but this has to be the team in mid going. They reconsider because of the wall? Do they have
13
time?
seconds.
No. I mean, they've got the positioning. Credit to actually getting the members of G2 to rotate off, but now you're still going to have the whole bucket of utility getting thrown in your face as they get back. Less trying to get a quick shot in on anybody looking for the peak, but they give up the angle.
Well, they only have a flash now for G2 and not the best weapons. The share's good enough.
What? Okay, wait.
The flash is good enough.
This is, yeah.
They're self-concussing too as they're blinded.
It's exactly why it's so hard to be in sight versus G2. Literally, Observer's just trying to find somebody that's not flashed up right now. That's crazy stuff. And it looked like they were playing with their food the whole time. There was no pressure on G2 whatsoever there.
I mentioned the best weapons that they had were Spectres, but it's actually the Sheriff from Trent that picks up all 3 kills, going for another multi-round again. A multi-frag round. Yeah, it definitely looked like here, Riv, as you called it. I think that Vice wall was still up towards that B side. So like, crap, there's 10 seconds left. What do we do, guys? Like, we have to commit now for a last-second hit. At least they'll get the plant down, but that's your gun round. Just fully denied by the bonus of G2, who brought barely anything into the round. And yeah, you're going to call the stop right away here for Zonic. And we'll have a conversation with Crew, and this is now 3 defuses in a row by G2.
Valen said earlier, when he was, right before we went to break, he was talking to the team. He's like, remember, don't give too much respect when you're playing. I think the other thing is happening where KRU is not respecting G2 enough at this point and what they're going to be able to bring to the table and how they need to formulate before moving forward. Everything seems to be a little half-baked here, and G2 just tears it apart as soon as they see the first part of the protocol.
Yeah. I think what was nice, too, from the, as you were saying, disrespect your opponents, was that satchel play from Trent and Jogimo right on the top of Rock at the A main. Because, again, talk about the what are the win cons for KRU whenever they're winning so many rounds, why this map is like a playground for Les, who's dropped on average like 20 kills and their 5-1 record so far on this map in the VCT Americas. It's because of the inserts and the plays that they have over on the A site. So G2 doesn't want to give a chance for that to happen, because look at it. They're doing amazing when it comes to retakes because of the util from Trent and how they flood together. So if you at least take out one of those check boxes from KRU, that is the win con for them to enter towards the A side like this. Well, it makes it a little bit easier for you to play your defense, right? So, yeah, it's not Les or Sadak falling down, but it's Dante already denied.
Was that Heat last time that went down too? Yep. It's just the duelists, they need to get into these sites. That whole process is being taken apart. Okay, they deserve that.
Yep.
They deserve that for sure. Sadak, a great attempt there into the hotline of where somebody might be hiding near stairs. And they are trying to build up heat on these alt points. Just a few more before he can rip off a showstopper and start to flex his muscles.
Okay, so info on 2 players going through break and 1 popping up the doors, or the wall on that B side. So G2 knows the hit is inside B now.
It becomes almost a game you see on other maps, right? Take out the wall, but just do it so the wall is down type situation. KRU is going to have to really start messing with G2's utility here if they want to get a result.
Nightfall could be the save for NW0 and the rest of KRU. Off the contact, Nightfall will come out.
Nice retaliation. Guiding light goes through. Baby Bay is able to finalize 2. A third one there. And he's just going to go ahead and throw down the ultimate as Jogamo heads into the site. What a shot from Heat. He has been on fire throughout the series, but it hasn't been enough to get the map wins. Is this going to be the play that puts KRU on the scoreboard for Lotus? He's trying to deny with the... Oh, no! Pros don't fake. Baby Bay holds it.
Pain shells missed. Satchels missed. Baby Bay doing the nay-nay. And another retake for G2.
It's your fear!
Jeez.
Look at him storming through all these kills.
His confidence is ridiculous. And that, you just see it in his eyes. It's like when they're moving from side of the map to side of the map, it's like there's a job to be done. It's not, I'm waiting for util, I'm waiting for somebody. He is just there making it happen. No consideration for anything else. It's been incredible to watch Baby Bay.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the confidence of G2 playing to their roles, right?
That's true. That confidence is everything. See through KRU's comms this round.
Abre a porta, Dante. Você. Tem a parede aqui, eu vou passar ETB.
Tá, tô cravado se ele pica. Não consigo te ajudar.
Eu tô chamando pra porta aqui. Então...
Guys, o homem tá com de HP, tá? Não tem medo.
Consigo. Peraí. É moquê, vou hangar, 3, 2, 1, moquê.
Eu acho que esse recurou ele, tá?
É, voltou.
Voltou? Se for, esse recurou o homem.
Planta escondido só. Momo, gana backside aqui. Eu volto pra você ganhar o espaço, tá?
Tá.
Eu vou voltar, 1, 2...
Vamos meter para negas?
Não vi nada aqui no seu Momo. Nada.
Eles vão encostar.
Eu vou mocar...
Eu vou chasser.
Eu vou mocar aqui, mano.
E no costas, vocês veneno?
Bota chegar aqui pra frente,
vai apertar céu e o resto...
Tá levando. Eu quero.
Eu morro de lado, guys? Morre não. Morre agora morre.
Vai passar com bagueira, Dante.
Bom, entrou.
Acabou.
Cara, eu acho que, tipo assim, o que você queria fazer era valeu. Você põe...
What do you do at this point, Riv? I mean, so far opening that door for Trent, and that dog got so much value for G2. It allowed for Leaf to get the spray through the smoke, for them to set up for a double flash for the retake. As much as you want to have the comms here for KRU and to TP to get information, yes, you TP on top of heaven, but what's your reaction onto that? They only inserted somebody towards that pit. They didn't try to fight going into there or to try to fight a different angle to really not allow for G2 to set up into these retakes. Now we're seeing his diffuser cutters every single round right now for G2.
Yeah, they're really not stressing to stop KRU before they get to the site right here. I mean, we get the push out on B. And this is old G2. Normally, they would play with the door if they didn't find anything right away. They love taking the space, and they're so good at messing with the teams when they do. Prowler already denied on Jogamo, or missed on Jogamo, and that was pulled by Valen. He gets a fake TP.
Ooh, nice check.
Jogamo was thinking he had an extra moment, fell asleep with the wheel there, but now they try to pick up and clean up the situation. It's some pretty good trades from both sides there.
Ooh, but that spiked down.
Wow.
Everything was looking so good for KRU because Leaf only had 10 HP left. He gets dinked by a Phantom. The numbers were good for KRU on the fights, despite having less numbers. But now it's spiked down. And now it's KRU having to re-clear everything on their own. Thankfully, though, they have Showstopper if they want to get into sites. But right now for G2, they're the ones that are going to have to go on a mission here to reposition themselves and try to recut, thinking here that KRU are going to re-rotate back towards the A side after picking up the spike, which is why you see this push here from Leaf. And as soon as he moves across here and he sees that the spike's not there, it's confirmed. It's going to finish towards the C site, and Leaf will have the timing.
30 seconds left.
So now Baby Bay, actually you can see him speed up a little bit as he kind of shift walking, letting go, getting a little bit more space, and this is huge. He's got full health, so he doesn't matter if he doesn't mind if he stays up for the fight. Heat drops him where he stands, and now they have to worry about what's coming around from the back. Didn't see it. He just skips by the angle that would have given them Leaf's hairline.
Just remember, though, this showstopper from Heat is pretty much a done deal, unless there's the biggest mistakes that comes out from KRU on this 2 versus 1.
Okay. Sadak with the fist bump there. They've got one. They're on the board. They know it's possible. We see a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's going to take a lot. You can see not everybody on the team is kind of sharing the same vibe right now as they are locked in, and then a lot of work needs to be done.
Look at that. For Les to clear that spot, too, is very nice, because you mentioned it. The Prowler missed in the first place. It contacted onto Valen. Valen went for a fake TP as well, and that forced here and allowed KRU to think that they had space to take. We saw a huge engagement in terms of fights, but it's down to the last 2 players that we saw here on the 2 versus 2 to save that round for KRU, and we'll hold that thought. Here comes a push up onto the rocks, and this time not denied, as instant trades come through in a 4 versus 4, and the escape comes out from Sadak once again. The way that he moves into the rubble and always escape cleanly with the TPs, but it's still a 4 versus 4.
And this is a big rotation now. They're able to actually insert Leaf on that this time. Remember, it was Trent backing up through the door, so they have a bigger read on what they can continue to do. Not fully on A main just yet, but they have that rubble control to make a good decision.
Trent's backing up. I think he's going to try to dog here potentially at the minute mark to see if a rehit's coming through, but instead, KRU is actually making a lot of noise to rehit towards the C site, so you'll save that dog for a bit. Baby Bay's being smoked out, though, so that's going to confirm, though.
Leaf always on flank confirmation. Baby Bay with another smoke through kill. Really finding those hot lines of where somebody's going to be in the action. Ooh, that was close. Leaf actually got a little bit of a hit there on Sadak for sure.
That pit is going to be difficult, though, because it's made for them to play spam on mound, but Leaf is going to be an issue towards that front of that C site.
They can walk up to the spike and be real weird with it, too. On that angle and just start messing with KRU. MW0 waiting left, right, the peak. He double takes on it, and it's going to be enough to take Leaf down. Baby Bay answering, rushing into the site. It's G2 looking like they're on top here. The defuse is going to be tough. No, it's not. MW0 goes down as Baby Bay gets the 3K and the defuse.
What a big retake by Baby Bay and Trent as well. I like to say Valen did the selfless play. TP inside the pit, so he gets the information, and instantly they take down the Viper. So as it drops, players are getting caught off guard out in the open, and it allows here to Trent and Baby Bay to win that 2 versus 1. It was a nice idea for the side of KRU, but again, as much as we praise on how Lotus is a playground for Les, it's also the playground for Leaf. Both of those players, as the Viper role, are always going to find their timings and their lurks and their backstabs, and Leaf is doing an excellent job here to create that disruption for the high fraggers for this map. Baby Bay and Trent to do some work.
Yeah, Baby Bay's been doing some work. Jogamo here about to be called on by 4 members straight at him. Gets the shot. What a slide. Oh, it's so blind. The lasers are going everywhere. Sadak gets the kill. Stinger pick up. They got to slow it down. Slow it down. He's about TP out of nowhere. All right, we're good.
And it's a good call by Valen to just stall everything right away, because if they wanted to continue to fight towards that front of that B site, showstopper from Heat was right there. So yeah, you'll trade it on a 1v1. Both duelists are down. Make it a little bit difficult here for KRU to get full value of site control here. They might have to now leverage the showstopper to get into a site. Caught off guard.
Oh, all right. They punish G2 for getting a little antsy, pushing up in this round. I think G2 wanted to trade it up a little bit with what they were doing since it was going to be ults for KRU. They're trying to get that no respect play style in a little bit.
Yeah, and they're still not confident, though, for KRU to really engage into the A site after already taking down 2 players fully committed, overextended towards the A entrance. So they re-hit towards that B site. It's a perfect call. There's no wall being held on that spawn. It's currently being led up by BBB over on A. This might be a chance here for KRU to string 2 rounds now. Well, actually, no, get a second round into half, sorry.
Dude, he is executing so well on so many situations. Leaf there as well. The ultimate picked up from BBB last round, playing into this one to help him string the rounds together again.
Leaf's got pit.
And they're looking at a Nightfall to come back at him. BBB.
Nice.
Good shots by MWs there. Really needed there for KRU to come back on top. And they keep another round in their favor.
Maybe that's the reason why as well that Leaf didn't want to commit into the pit. The Nightfall being available that was held since the beginning of the round for NW0. But also they didn't really have the information of where NW0 was playing. They only knew the paint shells were being thrown from the B main, so they wanted to confirm where the last 2 players were at before. Now a little bit too late as HPs were dropped from the Nightfall and the fights were perfect for NW0.
There.
Back and forth. The reset does actually hurt G2. That's one way to get under their skin. And this is actually going to be the push that we have not seen from KRU. This has been G2 space right off the bat for the last few rounds.
And they could do this because G2's on an eco. There's only pistols now. Hero rifle for BBB, soloing the C site.
Spikes down 2, so they're kind of testing the waters here, and it seems warm. Come on in, they say. Heat grabs 2. The spike will now follow as the door gets open, and a quick cleanup, very fluid round here by KRU. You can see what it looks like when they're all behind each other for that play.
Also switching out the orbs as well. Thought you might want to give it over to Heat, but he loses this to a classic.
Still an alt orb.
Still an alt orb, but NW0 is going to be the one picking up the slack here for the spike to get planted.
Spike planted.
Remember, there's still a hero rifle, though, for BBB. It's been pretty good here so far with it, but just got caught.
1 enemy remaining.
Just heard that bounce off his helmet, too. And he will be waiting. Saving this one? Oh, no. Chase down. Oh, my God.
Stop
no
chasing.
way. No way. Dante says, oh, okay, never mind. Oh, my gosh. It's been kind of incredible. From a chamber play to, which is, right, you would be, oh, you're operator, op clutch, rifle, you know, you need scope clutch.
A one-tricker, yeah.
But it's not. And with Vice, it's still like playing off the utility well. Situations where, like chamber, you could play off utility or get a quick shot and be out. But there's still the 1v1s, clearing baby door, the fights at the end. He, honestly, it's really well-rounded from Baby Bay, and you wouldn't expect it with the agents he's been bringing.
And the setups that he currently plays to on his Vice is very similar to how they're playing with the trap on the chamber, right? They're always moving that wall around. On the attack side could also be very good for G2 if they want to utilize that more on the attack. But yeah, definitely the rifling for Baby Bay on this agent is looking pretty good today.
It's not something you usually get when it's a scoper, honestly. They usually don't level out like that. All right, where are they going to go this time? It seems like G2's given a little bit of that space now to set a trap.
They haven't been really fighting back here towards the A control, the A rubble control for G2, especially in his gun round, because for the first time as well, an operator comes out. It's for Joggermill watching that front B line. And again, KRU, it's almost looking like their attack side, they're starting to be able to take a little bit more control of how they want to play here. They're defaulting around the map because, again, the presence of less alone will always keep one player of G2 around of, like, not really want to overcommit or overextend to watch towards the lane of B or C, because that's where less been posted for a lot of these times. It allows for KRU now to group up as 5 players, go for a split into the A site with Util. Uh-oh.
Ooh, lining them up. Still hurt. Want to get that C's back. Wait! What? No way you just got 2 kills with 8 HP. The C's was beautiful there to lock down what they needed to do. What a replay from Dante. I'm sorry, from MW0 there.
The Seekers will not get too much value as well for Crew. And MW0 with those kills, Nightfall now available. Look at him posted up there. Now this time they have numbers to actually react on the pings that they get and maybe even fight more towards heaven. This time it's a high-low on that spot just by the ropes, and that might be the call for G2 to fall back and save. Just too much information, give it away. And indeed, they will pull back, and yeah, a nice round by MW0, because at first, whoever is playing towards tree, I think it was Valen, right, spamming here with the door here through the Viper wall, should have had that kill onto MW0 and put G2 comfortably on a 5 versus 3.
Yeah. So what has it been from Crew? Kind of since that showstopper and then a bit more confidence, they've been fluid on what they really want to do.
Yeah, like I said, it's them trying to be more assertive on the A robo control and realizing that G2 is not really fully committing into fighting in that spot in the first place. They're probably thinking, okay, well, they're probably playing the 1-3-1 setup to have the Vice solo on the A site potentially. We still have power of numbers to play that on a 5 versus 1, 5 versus 2 at max. Especially when the door's not being broken as well at the beginning of the round for G2.
Yeah.
They allow themselves to take more position here. Map control towards Orb. So that's free orbs as well picked up every single time here for Crew from the amount of times that they've been pushing towards that spot. So a timeout for Josh RT. Maybe that will be a change of plan for them to maybe break that door open. Maybe that would have given an opportunity for Jogamo to get value with the operator as well. And they could actually encroach. I mean, think about it. If you're going to try to play Viper Wall up on the A side and you're tapping on the orb, now you have operator. Maybe Trent's going to be there with flashes as well. So you're not forcing yourself to commit for rubble fights every single time, but you still have ways to fight into the map control that's attempted by Crew on that side, which hasn't been demonstrated here on that fight by the breakable door the last 2 rounds.
I wonder, do we go back towards A? I think G2 might finally think it goes towards the left side of the map, but Crew has favored it, gaining the space, controlling a little bit, like you said, working alt orbs on and off, just to keep that movement silent. Operator still for Jogamo here, and honestly, G2 is kind of be at a loss a bit for seeing, what, 5 rounds in a row be perfect defuse rounds with their util, and now they haven't had a chance to set that retake protocol up.
Yeah. But now you're seeing it, right? They're putting Jogamo on this A side. Trent is also there with the flashes, but instead of breaking that door, they're putting him into potentially the top boxes, already satchelled on the top there. Or he's going to just try to play in front of it, just to try to get an upline down. Meanwhile, though, you did see the attack smoke being thrown, but nobody really moving into that. So they kind of already know after this dog confirmation that nobody's really leaning towards the A side rubble control for Crew. So that's going to force now Baby Bay to be on his toes and maybe fall back here once he realizes the hit coming in from Crew.
I think they read that as an op, too, with the way the Jog kind of jumped on it. You don't really rifle peek like that. So Les says no more peek here. We are going to be worked towards the left side of the map as he keeps an eye on the rotation. Here goes the hit right into the Vice util. We've seen this before. Back to C site now for Crew to see if they can shut down the G2 timeout.
They won't be able to deny this plant here for G2. There's no paint shells coming across as well because the op's still watching down that line. And a little bit of a trade towards the smoke, but nice little sprays coming in from Waterfall. It's another player to fall. Oh, nice flash.
Oh, that paranoia was still wearing off. They weren't ready for it. Jumping around, a little bit of a reload there as he grabs 2. He's at 10 HP, though. Asking for everything. Showstopper's there. It's a gun save. It's just a save.
I mean, I think he might still have to go for it. They still have money right now for Crew. They have a chance to make it expensive against G2 as well as just trying to cut noise and force a rotate and maybe isolate a 1v1.
No,
Jogamo was waiting the whole time with the Classic because he knew that he only had 10 HP.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Almost have to go for it there. They'll have the money. It just seems like they're getting squeezed out of these rounds. It looks so close in the G2 reaction. Always enough. I thought that was another one through the smoke at first. I was gonna be like, this has to be illegal from Baby Bay at some point. Jeez.
You see both Trent and Leaf running out of bullets because they were so busy spraying the first 2 players here that he almost made it doable. There was an overcommitment from G2. Maybe a showstopper maybe would have saved the round for Crew, but it's still the round for G2 at the end of the day with the op looking towards that front of that B main. That Prowler getting shot instantly, though, in the front of that B site by Trent
I have the spike.
will probably give KRU an inkling that it's for the AWP playing an aggressive line, so they're going to avoid that the whole time here for KRU. So they're going back into the tried and true walk up to the orb control because the door hasn't been busted. It's not even red, so they came and spray through it. So G2 is being more reactive on the active information that they're going to hear across the map, the audibles. So there's rotating door, the vice wall that's in front of our eyes, the breakable door opening as well, potentially.
Right into the wall. That's how safe, though. Showstopper is going to be enough to make everybody care on G2 that they have to leave the site, but that means all 5 are ready for the retake, and you are squeezed very tightly into this flash dump utility corner now.
Baby Bay kill would be huge here to get them a steel guard. I mean, look at this push from Heat.
He's got to come up with something. Actually, he's got a great face for one, and then he has control of Heaven, so this is going to be huge. They're both going to be shoulder to shoulder. He gets the first kill. Could it be 7-5 here to end that first half? Get a little rinse and repeat huge from our first map of Breeze as we keep trading. KRU in favor right now as only 2 members of G2 stand, and they are split on their entry into the site. Baby Bay still at stairs trying to get in. Jogamo goes down, and it's left up to the Unk. What can he do? Get him his walker. No, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much from KRU. Dante gets that last one, and it is going to be a 7-5 first half in favor of G2.
Love the pendulum swings back and forth on that tree line for both of them being affected for KRU from that steel guard from Baby Bay. I just talked about it, the win con. The overheating from Heat again allowed here G2 to pick up the ult from the Vice, but thankfully they still did enough damage. There was too much of a push from G2 before the ult came out that a couple of them got punished in the end, and KRU stays alive in this fight.
We will see what happens in the second half of Lotus right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Guys, yes. All right. Now, guys, be honest with me. Who are you here for today?
We low-key here for 100 Thieves, but in this game specific, I'll go G2.
What about you?
Honestly, I just want both teams to have some fun.
But what, like, define fun for you?
OT, all 3 games.
Okay, do you think anyone is going to get a nice fat ace today?
Jagamo's looking kind of crazy right now. I think he gets the ace.
What about you?
I mean, both Neons are kind of crazy. He just shooting straight.
All right. We love to see it. I don't think anyone's going to get an ace.
Really?
Oh.
Every time I fall, I get up. All the way to make me bend. Turns these shaking hands to strength again.
We are back, and that means you are too here at VCT Americas. We're ready to jump into the second half of Lotus, and KRU down this time. They're going to look to jump back up. They did have a decent first half of Breeze, so G2 was able to come back. And then G2 is able to start really strong on the first half of Lotus with KRU coming back. So it's a bit of a night and day here, but KRU needs to bring us to a third map if they want to keep the series going. All bangers end on Split. So let's get to Split.
All bangers do indeed end on Split, but if it's KRU playing Split, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see, though. We have to finish this half first, though, to see if G2 could finish this in a 2-0. But at least for KRU on the first half, they did have a lot of fight towards the end. Getting some nice little fights towards the A robo control where G2 is trying to do in the first place, but it's Baby Bay opening things up onto Dante.
Crazy. He's getting himself into so many situations where that's available and coming away with the kill. You understand why there's so much confidence in the beginning of these rounds for G2. They continue to move towards A site, and they still have Leaf hanging out, ready to be the backstab.
Just got to wait it out, too. As soon as G2 realizes there's going to be more players moving across, that's when Leaf is going to start activating, who's actually moving all the way back towards spawn as well.
He's going window shopping.
Yeah.
Wait, they're looking for him now. Oh, MW0 finds him on the full reset. KRU is everywhere, and they smother G2. Jogamo, a right click, one, not going to be enough. They just eat his bullets. Heat with the defuse, get that showstopper online, and KRU starts online for the second half.
Yeah, good on KRU to actually realize or already anticipated a G2 push all the way back towards spawn. That sneak in and tuck in all the way back in that spot was huge. Caught G2 off guard a bit. Once they realize here that they lost the first fight, the first duel towards the back of the spawn was the, oh crap, they're actually rotating back towards the staircase and we have nobody there. Unfortunate for Trent, who's been so good for this whole series so far. The first duel that he misses in this pistol run allows here for KRU to start snowballing potentially a defensive half.
A big pistol round here to start off for KRU. That's the movement they need. Will they stay in the face of G2, who is steadily heading to the other side of the map right now?
Yeah, it's simple. Big flash protocols just to get orb for Jogamo. Right now, they're just also trying to make KRU feel overconfident and overcommit for some sprays that they can answer back with. So far, things are going to stay quite quiet for KRU. They did invest a lot of rifles into this one, 3 Bulldogs. You don't want to lose that really early into the round. As I realize that also for G2, we really didn't have any lurks or information at the beginning of the round here towards the A side. They can't really go back towards A to pick up the orb on that side. So it's one of those moments where you just start cutting noise here and contacting potentially back into a C side plant.
It's like how much also can we make them feel antsy in this gun round?
Yeah, they don't need to, right? They like I said, they have so many good weapons. They still have all the util available for a stall and for a retake.
That's the test. How calm can KRU stay here in this engage? Sadok playing pretty far up on this, but it's only for a shot. He knows the trade of pistols can't be too big, and that play of his life will be the next strategy.
Surprising we didn't give that spike over to Jogamo to plant, though, but at least they still get money.
Hello. Little backstab. Nice upgrade there for Leaf as he starts to come around. Heat with the paint shell, scores one as he smears the rest of G2 across the map with MW0. Leaf and Baby Bay left alive, and now that's just Leaf as he gets mulched up by MW0. 3K over there. Nightfall's going to be coming online soon, too. Yeah, and they actually give it to MW.
Yeah, and Sadok had 2 HP remaining after that fight, so that could have been very expensive for KRU moving into the next round. Remember, they invested into 3 Bulldogs. Thankfully, they could salvage at least 2 of them. They're going to put them in still a pretty decent bonus round. Yeah, there's a lot of kill streak smokes on this map so far.
So many.
But, again, that was all opened up into how chaotic that was from the lurk of Leaf, finding his timing onto middle. And that's also the power that G2 identifies, right? We just talked about it going into this map. The double duelist for KRU doesn't allow for them to get the strongest of defensive halves because they can't really have a sentinel committed to anchor up a site, so the lurks could be very good from Leaf.
Les having quite a bit from that pistol round, and the following goes for the buy of the Phantom here in their bonus. So that's going to be a big rifle for them if they can keep it protected once that sight hit comes in. It looks like G2 will mostly avoid it as they get behind enemy lines right away.
Yeah, I mean, Jogamo's already towards blue, and again, no vice wall, nothing to stall, nothing to sound the alarm, so it's kind of like, yeah, thanks for the plant, and see you guys next round or something like that. Jogamo is going to backstab a lot of people here, too. I don't think he's going to be watching the angles back towards the staircase. I think he should try to find a timing for a backstab instead, but as he explores, he now realizes here and gives the information for G2 that they can focus for the fight towards break.
Yeah, he's staying there. He goes towards stairs or anything. He kind of just resets his flank, and he might get stabbed himself. So he's going back with the team. This could be big, though, on the side of Les. If he gets a good door timing, that's really the one we're looking at right now. It's going to be a tough one as the team piles out a baby door here. Oh, he hits it already. So eyes are looking on both sides. They're able to swarm the site. KRU's getting a little bit of positioning, and that's exactly what they need from Les.
We're sticking it.
Oh, my gosh.
They got to move in on it.
Wait a minute. KRU gets the defuse G2. It was right under your nose.
And G2 had everything to know where the hit was coming from. Because while they were actually creating more delays here with snake bites and razor vines into break room, they also flashed towards waterfall. So they knew 100% the flank was, or the rotate was coming towards blue door. Until now the door opens up from the C site and disrupts the whole post-plant scenario from G2. And again, all of those smokes useful for KRU to just stick the defuse and steal the round away from G2.
Crazy. What a bonus round for them to get against G2 here on Lotus. Both teams seem to have the answer on each other's map picks here. It's going to be a little bit of a default now from KRU as they want to feel what kind of pressure G2 will start the round with.
And remember, KRU won that round with not too much going into the rifles of G2. So that resets the economy on both sides, making this quite an important gun round for G2, if not breaking the economy potentially here, and putting KRU in a comfortable position on defense. And what a shot by Baby Bay.
That was a nasty duck right under his shot. Okay.
Who's next?
Yeah, don't peek down the columns. Stop that. Still waiting for the wall. Baby Bay still gonna face it. It's no vice. He's just like, yeah, I'll take that. I got teammates behind me. The trust and confidence is there. And they're gonna go ahead. Great play by Dante just to play his life and be a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, those two first picks, huge right now, and Dante's able to, trying at least to save the round for the team. Less sprays through the break room door over to Rubble. And yeah, we're just going back and forth here in terms of just showdowns for both of these teams.
Yeah, it is. It seems like they know they'll give it to each other in the certain situations. Just a few more.
Dude.
Say what, Dante?
And there's 13 seconds left. They got to start acting very quickly. The insert from VALORANT into the B site might force them to commit now into a last-second plant over
5,
towards B.
4, got it. Just about over a second, easy to plant. Where's he go? So they're on both sides. Everybody's coming from a different direction here. Crazy to enter back into the site as they leave it.
This is big. Just flash on tap, and Baby Bay could swing out on an after. So it hits both of them right now, and Baby Bay finds the timing. Very nice.
Ready with the util that late in the round. The paranoia wasn't even used. And have the protocol for it.
It was. It hit both of them. So on the tap.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't used until then.
Yeah.
Still have it for the situation, and I'm sure they weren't expecting to get hit in the face both by that. Oh my gosh.
Nice turnaround too. Remember, that was 13 seconds left into the round. Yeah. Sigh of relief for sure, because that was Dante that made it very, very dangerous there for G2 in that previous round. But yeah, it was like a Neon Frontier bundle number 2 ad where everybody was just showdown on every single one of the lines here of Lotus.
Money is looking low now on that side. As G2 bring it back, still have a Guardian buy-in and rifles for the side of KRU. Is staying heavy lean towards the right side of the map here for the react. So that means Sadok's going to be giving out all the info here as he gets flooded soon.
Seeker's on top of that to go in, so this should be easy for him to get through.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Nice read by Jogamo.
Beautiful read by Jog. It didn't even look like he looked towards the corner when he shot it. He just knew. The no-look showstopper. Rushing over. KRU here already set themselves up towards the spawn side. And everybody on G2 is ready and waiting with their guns pointed towards the top side of that site. Les trying to displace a few, put a little hot feed in there, but Baby Bay sitting down for a high-low, and they start to deny the entry into the site.
How are they not using a Nightfall?
I don't know. KRU's making a little bit more space in, but they have so much they could be using here and forego it.
I'm very intrigued as to why we decide to hold back on the Nightfall for MW0. Because after you realize from the Seekers from G2 rushing into the site, and yeah, look at this pick. While you're still right now being paranoid, you're close range enough so he sees the direction of where Sadok was TPing to, so he just shoots the rocket in that spot. But KRU should have known that this is a full commit, especially with the information that Sadok's getting towards that C site, that they're grouped up into C. We didn't use a Nightfall to try to flood back here for MW0.
Baby Bay is 6 away from dropping 30 in this on Vice. Like, what is going on this game in the situations that we're getting so many mid-round kills where they're fighting each other in the middle of the map? It kind of sparks out at the beginning of the round, fizzles, and then they just get the lurks to come in so effectively.
If he doesn't get 30 kills, at least he has it in his age numbers.
It's a good push up here. At least KRU has the information on the map to make the informed decisions on B and C. But they haven't seen anything yet other than that first touch and go.
I gotta give it to KRU at least that they always anticipate this type of like, oh, if we jump spot, they might be looking into that angle.
This is some of those times when if Baby Bay has the op, though, it gets scary. So they're okay to do it, but he has a rifle. It's still kind of scary. Takes down less there. They're quickly peeking out with the lower buys just to see if they can get an idea of what's happening. So it's going to be tough for KRU to grab this round as G2 pushes on through and should find themselves a good bit of momentum here. Alt points not necessarily on deck for too many players. So that could be really a way that KRU starts to edge their way back in after this round.
They do definitely have to start playing this a little bit more cleanly to not give these orbs away here on it to G2. Remember the first map on Breeze when he did it on their eco round and ran back into the B site and gave so many kills over to Leaf, if I'm not mistaken. And now KRU definitely are staying way back just to make sure that they die to Spike this time around. Get their money right going into a huge round for them because they'll have 5 ults available to work with.
Almost got his ult up. 1 away from Leaf. KRU dies to the Spike, as you said. And this is going to be an incredibly big round for KRU. Kind of all the trust and confidence, everything they need if it's not a timeout needs to go into this round because it's going to be G2 taking control if they don't.
And you do, right? You have the 5 ults to work with. This is a great opportunity for you to talk to your team here as being Coach Zonic to KRU to make sure that you don't have to utilize all of the ults to just get 1 round to try to catch up on the G2. So it comes down to not only the protocols on the ults, but also the macro, how you want to position yourself here as they invest into an operator for Heat. Remember, when it comes down to these rounds, he's potentially solo-opping over on that A line from the staircase over towards A. When there's not going to be any noise coming back and committed onto G2, then they could really start playing more numbers onto like a 1-3-1 setup, fighting the front of that B site, delaying towards that C site and using their ults for the retake. So maybe these could be some of the things that G2 have identified when they looked back at the tape that KRU utilized against Loud previously. See, Josh is definitely cooking stuff up here with the team.
All right, back onto the map. Pretty sure that's all KRU can have for timeouts here, so it is up to these 5 ultimates. How they might be able to stretch them over the course of the next few rounds here and really mess with the G2 rather economy, because they have bank right now. They can make a few mistakes, they can try a few things. And they're about to get some ults too.
Sadak is placing a one-way smoke on the C line to make you think that there's no operator there, but they actually placed Heat in that spot too. So that's going to be the first line of defense that they have, and that dog is going to confirm where the op is. So G2 is going to avoid it to fight the front of that B site and open it up.
Quick aggression. No, they go back in, but Sadak still has the spam down. Cover going out. That was going to be the Spike following in too, so a quick turnaround from Valen here as he even tries to get that TP gap sped up. Oh, so Baby Bay understands they're trying to check the side of the map and they should be worried about C. So Valen slows down again. Almost uses the wall. Very effective, but there's the aim there from Sadak and team. Easy kill for them.
Yeah, that's nice from Dante though. To go for the slide with the overdrive just to disrupt Baby Bay. We see some players like Luxo, for example, have some very nice little isolated fights from that position. On a 1vx just at the break room. At least we'll get the plant down for Valen, but you're asking a lot from the IGL here. A 1 versus 4.
A Vandal as well. The reset on each shot even harder. It takes everything. No paranoia, no nothing. They'll get ult out of this regardless. But a few more kills would be fantastic. So he knows where the slide's coming from. He actually has a chance to just get some straight up fights here in the beginning if he can get that slide out right away, but no. Dante's got a quick sidestep there and takes down Valen. A quick defuse as well. Go right back over to Dante.
Yeah, so KRU's closing that gap. This is a nice look at the very beginning. Some great punish on what they did here towards this front B site. And that's just some raw gun battles that really worked out in terms of KRU's positioning.
And what, only 2 ultimates used there by KRU?
Correct.
They have a few more to roll in, but now they have to act against G2s. So really, do they want to open with Heat, as they do, but he has an op, so do they open with a Nightfall? That's been their late game for the round, so a lot of questions.
They're opening with Leaf with an op. And he's posting it up on the A line here to start.
Yeah, Leaf with an op too. So it's going to be hard angles held by both Heat and Leaf.
Okay, so Satchel from Jogging Mode to fake the presence on the top of the orbs. So you're trying to force a jump spot to get information on the A line, and Leaf saw the jump, couldn't take the shot, but that's going to have to readjust how G2 is going to reapproach the mid-rounding. So full commitment towards the C site to start.
Just methodical. They know they're going to make noise, but it feels like they are confident with the util they can throw in no matter. Really? They just pulled KRU's Nightfall for absolutely Trailblazer.
Yeah. Because of the TP that you had here from Valen onto the C site. I thought it was committed towards that side, so that gives a little bit of a window here for G2 to commit for a fight into C.
That's true. They did have the From the Shadows to kind of pull the trigger there. You're right. A good shot from Les. They're still deterring G2 from getting some good ground in the site. Yeah, this is getting awkward for everybody right now. Les is just trying to figure out which side they're going to come from. Nice protection behind him from MW0, though, so they're holding this very smart. Oh, it looks so good in the defense. What a nice job by KRU. Oh, pull. Leaf gets one in the air.
Now this is a save. After that flash, it could have been a good pick there on to Les, but he flicks right into the shot, half blinded. Now they're chasing down the op. They're chasing down the rifle from Baby Bay as well, who does get a blind kill. He's getting blind kills and smoke kills.
How does he do this? What the hell, dude, man? Oh my gosh. He has the same amount of kills as the next 2 people, Leaf and Trent combined.
Yeah. That's important here, though. I think the op shot that just got rang by Leaf over here to deny the showstopper from Heat gives the indication here that G2 might be playing this a little bit more slowly on the attack side because of that op. But yeah, you saw Josh RT pull it out the timeout here. KRU's doing a good job denying the plants here from G2, but also themselves having good protocols on the retake so far in these fights.
For them to grab that round, especially with the Nightfall out, I think it would spell good things, right? It's like, oh, they used the Nightfall, but to still be able to retake in rounds where they had trouble before spells good things. Especially forcing a timeout from G2 means they're on the right track for KRU here to make sure they can get us to split.
So I'm thinking right now, again, KRU is playing with no senties.
Yeah.
And they've cycled some good ults for the last 2 rounds and still have one available for less. If they're going to try to go for the standard, yeah, we could ult towards that C site and try to deny that. Well, there's no Senti util to help them out, right? There's no Vice Wall, there's no Chamber Trip, there's nothing really. So it's still a chance for G2 to say, we could take that space and just go for Baby Bay's ult from the 3K that he got from the previous round and just run over less on that C site. So I'm expecting here a slow start from G2 on the default and then they have across all 3 lanes, but they still have a window to attack the C site.
Quick from KRU. And they actually disperse inserts, and then they get back to B. Make sure they get through break room. They're at the front of the play on every site.
Unless, instead of saying, I'm going to pit that off, I'm going to just walk forward and get a kill. That was nice. Now you're forcing the activate from an ult to fake towards the B site and re-hit towards C. And right now, everything's just being stalled. I think a snake bite just came down from Les. Yeah, that slowed things
up. Snake bite
up.
from Les. The Prowler basically fizzles out the Vice ultimate that went over towards B, and now G2 is getting themselves to the left. So they've been able to separate the map with all that and give themselves time over here. And Baby Bay is still working that lurk position right towards Waterfall. Jogamo about to get handshakes, and he does to Sadak.
That's nice. That might deny here the opportunity for KRU to roll back in with the Vice ult. Comes down to this backstab once again from Heat with the operator. On to Jogamo.
Oh, cleans up the head punch there. Heat with 1, an operator in 2. He's going to be able to grab the Vandal. Let's see how prime he can be in this situation. Tries to get a bit of displacement from the blast pack, but he knows he basically has to get a 180 shot into this, and the team says not worth it just yet. Grab that op again and get out of there.
Yeah, ends up being a very nice Razor Vine being thrown by Baby Bay just on the top of the boxes, not allowing the rotate to happen from Heat. Because if not, he's running out of HP, running out of time, and Trent's going to be easy for the confirmed kill against his opponent. But G2 finally finding something out of the timeout, putting themselves back at this map point. Oh, sorry, in the lead in this map. That said, though, with Les not utilizing his ult on that previous round, he could use it now this time around. There's no big ults to push him out. Actually, there's a showstopper from Jogamo.
Another push. Now KRU kind of feigns the fact that they're going to push. They don't actually do it this time. See if they can get a bit more util out, and they are successful at that.
Okay, so that smoke being thrown aggressively is cleared out by the Trailblazers. So by pulling up the Viper wall, you're still creating a sense of urgency that G2 is still moving in towards Rumble, so he keeps a couple of players still from KRU anchored up towards this A site. Still setting up for 3 players pretty much watching the orb area at the A site. Can they punish Les here?
Toxins going up.
It becomes the wait for a pick game, and we're about to get a possibility of that right here. Whoa. Gets out safely. Jogamo still following through. He's looking for the coattails. It's going to be a shot towards Waterfall, and he does find Les through the smoke. A bit too much of a push as Dante is ready, but the scramble for C is on. Oh, clothesline. Dante was just about to turn the corner. You saw his body just flop out of the way from the plant. The rest of the team is still looking, very low HP for MW0 now as they're being torn apart before even getting the targets online. Oh, again with the util mid-sight. And Leaf takes advantage of it that time. Just waiting for the peak. G2 looking for game point here with 8 HP on MW0.
Yeah, this is, he made noise too. It's over. No. Fall back, save your weapon. Just play for the OT now.
Saw the shoulder there too. The drop smoke almost gave him the kill they were looking for, and it is going to be, again, the save. Deja vu from just last round too. Heat taking the same pathing out, and G2 taking the same site for a round.
And I like that from Jogamo too. Just pulling the showstopper early in case he's able to catch one off guard here behind Mountain if there was more than one player, but then just runs out with his knife out to close that gap, get that second satchel in to really take down Les with the showstopper, nullifying the Viper's Pit on that end.
Match point.
But I think most importantly too is the position from Leaf with the operator. Man, he was there to save all of his team as they're pushing forward for KRU to try to retake that site. 2 big op shot kills.
And it becomes a different position, right? I mean, he's been rifling all game. The past handful of rounds, he grabbed the op, but it's riding a bike for him.
Yeah.
Whatever he's shooting, he knows where to be and what is needed of him.
That's the beauty of Leaf being able to play that flex player that Jogamo was just mentioning to Liz here.
Exactly.
In between the maps, he could play whatever we need him to be, Viper or Senti, and even play the op. Here comes a walk down, though, from Heat with the operator and a fight towards the Rubble.
Ooh. Speedy Sadak is traded out, though. They still go for a few more. MW0 gets one as they're still trading. Oh, the one-way Baby Bay plays that advantage nicely, and now it's just to an operator and a Spectre for Dante.
And that's just a quick ante as well from G2, knowing that on defense, Les likes to find timings and positioning on the pushes, and Baby Bay was just holding it the whole time. But do they expect the second push forward from Dante just around the corner at that C mound? And it seems that is the case. You'll play the numbers, play the group, and try to hit towards this B site. Give that plant for Trent, play inside that pit, get the Seekers out, potentially a GG here.
Allowing that. So nobody chases a Seeker, but they are going to set up in different spots.
Now Trent could even take heaven position.
That's 30.
That's Heat coming in with an op again.
Another one. Just denial everywhere. Snake bite down, Vice util down. I mean, Heat's walking on glass to even try to get this one down, Vansili. And he's going the other way right now. So he's going to
pick up a rifle.
Can I get a rifle in this situation? Oh, my word. 6 bullets, by the way.
It's Heat, though.
Pick that one up. Someone didn't pay for the ammo. It's going to be too much. That's on Fast Peep already. He's hanging out. He's playing for stats. He's out. He's safe, everybody. Don't worry about it. G2 take the map in 2. 30 bomb. 3-0 from Baby Bay. In this 2-0 versus KRU. What a match by them. A great second map from both teams as KRU was really trying to find their, starting to find their stride. But the timeouts from Josh, G2 resetting and really playing off a few variables of then Leaf grabbing the op. Baby Bay dropping 30 plus, 31 by the way.
Yeah.
And overall really just coming in, having a better day on that G2 side.
It's nice for G2 to maintain their calm too, that even though after a timeout from KRU having those 5 ults and stringing 2 rounds, they knew that was basically going to be the moment for them to turn it around in their favor once they had their own ults and their own timeouts to work with. So it's nice there. Good call by Josh RT on that timeout. But overall, game plan for G2 for today, quite good in terms of the retakes. But overall, they had to fight for this. KRU, despite them having a rough season so far in this stage and stage 1 as well, that was a pretty decent game though against G2.